This here's from Vanity Fair, and once again, we've got Tim Burton saying he would love to work with Johnny Depp again. Well, he had his chance with Beetlejuice 2. Alright, maybe Johnny was busy. Johnny had Modi, Johnny had Gene DeBari, Johnny had his concerts, Johnny had his art exhibits. But you know what? Johnny did that stuff all within the last year and a half. Tim's been saying this for like 5 years now, and we've had nothing tangible. But we'll come back to that. Tim Burton, I'd love to work with Johnny Depp again. Let's see what we got. One of the most anticipated pieces of news for the public comes directly from Tim Burton, who at the Gafini Film Festival retraced the fundamental stages of his career on the occasion of the presentation of the second season on Wednesday from August 6th on Netflix. Accompanied by his partner, Monica Bellucci, he indulged in a trip down memory lane. I chose Johnny Depp for Edward Scissorhands because he has the qualities of a silent film actor. He was perfect for the character thanks to his great sensitivity. Everyone thought of him as a teen star, but instead he had an emotional and almost damaged soul. Nice opinion, Tim. What have you done for Johnny in the last 5 years? Or when Johnny was at his lowest point with the court case, did you defend him? Give a statement? I don't think so. He said something like, no Johnny, no Addams Family when that came out, but that came out and there was no Johnny, and there was in fact an Addams Family, so seems like Tim was a lot of talk on that one. Despite what you might think, his favorite work remains Vincent, my first short film. But let it be clear, I don't judge or watch my films, I just love making them. And I've never been someone who at a certain point in my life said I thought I want to be a director. It simply happened when I stopped listening to the voices of others, which only caused me a great sense of frustration, and I focused on what I like to do, specifically drawing characters and bringing them to life. And he goes on more about himself, on how he wants to be and how his films are, but the title is, I'd love to work with Johnny Depp again. How are we getting to this? Where's the substance here? What are we talking about? What's the core of this issue? Or is it Vanity Fair using Johnny's name to get more people to read? Yes, I'm guilty, but that's what I do. I cover all things Johnny Depp. My point is, Tim hasn't actually helped Johnny, maybe even in a decade, and he wants to work with him and get attention about Johnny Depp. It's impossible, however, to choose just one character from his long and laborious career. Perhaps the one who resembles me the most, he says, is Edward. I felt him as a teenager. All my protagonists, however, have a special place in me because I put myself in each of their shoes. He understands his fans well because he is one himself. In fact, one of the most electrifying moments of my life was the meeting with Christopher Lee. I can say I spent 2 hours in Dracula's company. It was exciting and wonderful. Not sure if he's quoting that from what Johnny said or if that's what he's saying, but we're supposed to be talking about Johnny, so I hope Johnny said that. I think Johnny met Christopher Lee. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me. And more about himself. In a fit of modesty, he adds, I'm not a very talented person, but I always stay true to what I know how to do because it's the only thing I know, and it hasn't changed even when I've worked for big productions. I tend not to believe these things. I'm sure there are certain people out there who are modest, but come on. You know what you accomplished. You know what people think of you. And I just don't believe that too many of these people are really just average Joes in the shoes of huge celebrities and millionaires. Judging by how Tim talks and what he does, I'm not going to believe him about it. I think he's got an ego. He's a regular Hollywood director, you know, with a quirky side, with an artistic side. I'm not saying he's exactly the same, but I just don't buy it. I just can't believe what he says, man, because he should have worked with Johnny, and I can't get over it. And then he talks about Wednesday, his Netflix show, which I don't give a shit about. I don't think you give a shit about that, because what we're really giving a shit about is what he says about Johnny. He should keep that in mind. And that's it. Okay, for the record, he says he identifies with his character very deeply. Fine, great. Yeah, so as you can see, I like covering this stuff. I want to see what happens. I'm following things out to the bitter end. It's just that I really thought Johnny was going to be in the Addams Family. I really did. I mean, fucking Tim Burton. No Johnny, no Addams Family. That's it, man. Stick to your guns. You're already a millionaire. You've already made it. You don't have to be so worried about what people think about you if you defend Johnny when it's controversial, quote unquote. But no, maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe put out a statement. I just can't quite recall. I've got like over 2,000 videos on Johnny and the case and everything like that, maybe more. So if it slipped my mind, I'm sorry. But I can't recall ever writing anything like Tim Burton defends Johnny. There might have been some minor implications in a statement somewhere, but there was never like a real strong defense from Tim. So if he's that good of a fucking friend, A, defend Johnny. That time long past, but just saying. And B, work with Johnny. I thought you were like this good friend who respects and loves him and all this. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know some people out there, maybe some people watching are Tim Burton fans. And when I first made videos about this, like when he said it, like 3 or 4 years ago, they were like, no, he's going to work with Johnny. Tim's cool. Tim's known Johnny their whole life and whatever the heck it was. But you don't know exactly what they're saying in private, what they're saying when they hang out and shit. Yeah, maybe they've known each other, but there might be jealousy on Tim's side. Who knows? He's just a guy. We just don't know. I think people look at him and be like, he's this kind of cool director who made some artsy movies. He must be a nice guy. Well, if he works with Johnny on something big, something relevant, all right. I'll shift my little chip off my shoulder and I'll be like, all right. He finally did it. But until then, I'm holding Timmy's feet to the fire. Let me know what you think in the comments. Consider subscribing. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.